Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
This is 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Good evening, I'm Jen Ah. Thanks for joining us on 7 at 7, now streaming on Twitter. Starting off with business news, sponsored by Bank of Nevada, Bank on Accountability. Casinos in Vegas are now on a hiring spree to keep up with spiking demand. Just take a look at these lines here behind me at job fairs. That's as tourism rates ramp up across the valley. Companies rushing to fill hundreds of jobs throughout this month. Circa Resort hosting drive-through hiring events, while MGM Resorts International is hosting job fairs every Wednesday. Last week, hiring 100 people on the spot.
A lot of them are seasonal jobs with pool season coming up, but we're seeing everything from servers to cashiers to anything you can imagine. So there's a wide variety of job openings right now in the local hospitality industry.
Other companies holding hiring events this month: Ellis Island, Circa, and Virgin Hotels Las Vegas. In more business news, Amazon and Dish Network are teaming up to build a 5G network in Vegas later this year. The company saying this will be the first time a 5G network will be run in the cloud and should be cost effective. However, Dish and Amazon's 5G will have to compete with other 5G networks already available in Vegas, including T-Mobile and AT&T. Now to your other top stories, sponsored by Carnegie Heights. The new $56 million municipal courthouse is now open in downtown Vegas. Review Journal's Renee Summerhour has more on how this courthouse will help the city. Renee?
Jen, the $56 million courthouse sits on Clark Avenue near City Hall, and officials broke ground on the courthouse back in 2019, and it is expected to open up to the public officially on May 3rd. It will also be very busy when it opens up, with offices and chambers for each of the city's 6 municipal judges, all having seats there, and they will handle everything from traffic violations to criminal misdemeanors.
The design of this new building absolutely blends perfectly, as Rich said, with our City Hall, as it joins other governmental and judicial buildings downtown to create a convenient corridor for those in need of its legal services.
These judges preside over nearly 140,000 cases every year. Jen?
After looking into GOP's claims of voter fraud, the state's review is in. The Republican Party previously filed a complaint with nearly 123,000 records of alleged voter fraud. However, Secretary of State Barbara Sagaski says these allegations were based on an incomplete assessment of voter registration records, and no evidence of mass voter fraud was found. Now to your weather, sponsored by 1 Hour Air. No matter the season, no matter the reason, 1 Hour is here for you. For this Earth Day, we had some beautiful, warm, sunny weather. As we move into the evening, we can expect some breezes and lows dipping into the 60s. Now looking at your Friday, we'll get some higher temps in the upper 80s and sunny skies. Clouds starting to roll in this weekend, with Sunday taking a dip into the 70s before cooling further at the start of next week. Expect strong winds to pick up starting on Saturday as well. On to your entertainment news, sponsored by DiscoverYourNevada.com, brought to you by Travel Nevada. Resorts World reveals its star-studded lineup with this fabulous teaser. Review Journal's John Katzlaminas joins us with that list.
Celine Dion, Carrie Underwood, Katy Perry, Luke Bryan, Tiesto, and Zedd are all telling us to stay fabulous. This is a new commercial and promotional campaign from Resorts World Las Vegas, the first time the hotel has announced its headliners in Las Vegas, and the first commercial of any type the Resorts has produced. It's going to premiere on the Oscars telecast on Sunday, and we're going to hear more about this lineup, but I think so far the Resorts World has parked it with its lineup of resident headliners.
Sports, sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company. Raiders general manager Mike Mayock was made available to the media on Thursday afternoon, as we are exactly 1 week away from the 2021 NFL Draft.
At 17, you're sitting there and you're going, okay, I think the board's going to fall a certain way, and how are we going to react? If it doesn't fall that way, is there a way to get out? Is there a way to go back? Conversely, if you're sitting at 17 and a guy who you think is going to go, 8 to 10 or 12, somebody who you really like that fits what you do starts to slide a little bit, you've got to be willing to say, are we willing to take the chance to give up some draft capital? You got to be willing to go either way, and as the draft develops, make those decisions.
Sports betting, sponsored by Las Vegas Paiute Tribal Smoke and Cigar Shop. So much for Mr. Irrelevant. There are 259 picks in the upcoming NFL draft, and Circa Sportsbook has draft position props on 100 players, making virtually every pick relevant for bettors. There are 11 quarterbacks listed, led by Ohio State's Justin Fields at 3.5. The over is a -270 favorite after the under opened at -200. Shane Buechele of SMU and Sam Ehlinger of Texas are each listed at 258.5, meaning bettors might have to sweat out those wagers until the final picks.
In your health news, brought to you by 4M Dental. Love your smile again. One interior designer hopes to inspire homeowners in Nevada to make their homes happier, to help with overall well-being. You're looking at before and after. Another before and after. The CEO of Seriously Happy Homes spoke at the Las Vegas market about how a home with happy and comfy vibes designed in a way that works for you and your family can bring joy and fond memories. She says a little paint or pillow here and there can go a long way. Now to your lifestyle news, sponsored by Get Healthy, Clark County. As it gets warmer, more families are heading outdoors. Review Journal's James Schaefer with some safety tips.
Equipment like this helicopter is being used by the Las Vegas City Air Support and Rescue Team. We came here to the North Las Vegas City Airport to find out a little bit more about what to do if you're caught in the wilderness during this hot summer and spring season.
They will call us 911 and say, I'm up here, but I can't get down.
Air and Rescue Operations Director Steve Morris led a press conference discussing safety tips that people should take prior to venturing into the wilderness.
Is to have a light source, a charged phone, and to consider a personal locator beacon if you're doing very remote or very complex hikes or climbs.
Afterwards, the team gave us a tour of their equipment and had us watch maneuvers from one of their vehicles. For the Las Vegas View Journal, I'm James Schaefer.
That ends our 7 at 7 p.m. show from the Review Journal studio. I'm Jen Ah. Watch us on the RJ mobile app, YouTube, or our website. Plus, you can catch 7 at 7 a.m. bright and early. Till then, good night.
Review Journal Studio, sponsored by Adam Kuttner. Get the maximum settlement as quickly as possible. This 7 at 7 update, sponsored by Pro Group Management. You're watching 7 at 7 from the Las Vegas Review Journal.